Welcome back to the Government Accountability Committee meeting of October 3rd, 2022. Lots of great discussion earlier today. We have one item left on the agenda, and that is to look at the draft of our annual report. And this was passed out earlier today, but it also came to you, I believe, by email a little bit earlier on. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to read it. And if anybody's noticed anything that I didn't see or that Representative Townsend didn't see, because we had a little advance notice of this, as you might expect. I think, again, Ameren and Tim did an excellent job in presenting the facts as they are and why we are still waiting for additional input from the community. Does anyone have any corrections, additions? Yes, Senator Pursley.
I wondered if we could include the language we did last year about a recommendation that the legislature look at statutory charges for the committee. I mean, I don't know if anything happened. We recommended it in a report last year. And I don't know if we need to do that because we're already this recommendation to go in front of the Sunset Advisory Committee. And do we want to put that into the report?
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Well,
I was raising.
okay, I'll just react immediately, and I probably would prefer that I could think about it for a second, but we did have input from the legislative committee. In fact, the Government Operations Committee had a bill drafted and all set to go, and then we put it back on the wall because we had nothing from the community in terms of input to go with. So what we already had in place for outcomes and indicators, we weren't going to change until we heard back from them. So we put it back on the wall. So that part, to address your first point, we did get legislative input back. It just wasn't particularly helpful.
Was that legislative input on the statute for the committee or just
Yes.
on the indicators?
No, it would have been for outcomes.
It was just for outcomes and
Yeah.
indicators.
And so what I was referring to and under this, what I thought this recommendation was specifically about, and it's some of the points that Justin brought up, is if you look through all the things that this committee is supposed to do, some of them we haven't done because they're just things that we don't do. And so it seems like we could have taken those out. And I don't know if your committee talked about those things, like the charge of the committee.
Yeah, no, we did not.
Did we put that in last year's?
This is what it said. So it recommends that its statutory charges under 2 VSA be reviewed to see whether any changes are needed to clarify the scope of the committee's work.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we could put that back in. And just to let you know, my plan at least is to have Senator White and myself talk to the Senate Pro Tem and get, I don't want to say permission, but at least let her know that we plan on having Representatives Lefebvre and Brumsted appear before the Sunset Advisory Commission to talk about the possibility of redoing the committee, if you will. And Representative Townsend will likewise speak to Joe Krowinski to do the same thing. So whether we want to put that in our report or not, I don't know. Since sort of I don't want to say permission. I'm trying to think how to put this. It won't be an accomplished fact by the time that the report is issued. So I don't know that, I think we're putting the cart before the horse, maybe? No?
We're giving information, we'll be sharing information as to a step
Okay.
we're taking
All right.
with our leadership. It's a matter of courtesy, you know.
Okay. Representative Dolan.
I would agree with it. I'm just thinking with the turnover that we're going to see, like what we can put in this report, because I'm guessing when it reconvenes next year, whoever it is, like my first thing is like, well, what did they do for a report? And let's read that.
Okay.
So I agree with that. And I also am looking at last year's report in the piece on training. Our recommendations around training might be good to put in here again. Again, just because thinking of new players at the table next time around, let's give them a solid foundation.
Okay. So now I have to turn to Ameren and Tim. How easy would it be to include a couple of those topics in this report and still have it so that we can adopt it today?
Are you looking for the exact same language that was in last year's?
The training piece could definitely be the same. The reference to statutory changes could also be copied and pasted.
Yeah.
The only additional thing would be that the plan from this group going forward is to speak with leadership to have them understand that our plan is to appear before the Sunset Advisory Commission.
I don't think I'd put that in there.
No?
No, I think I would just put in those two things,
Okay.
the training and I wouldn't put that.
Then my bet is it'll be pretty easy.
In the next 10 minutes.
Yes, I was gonna say, I think if you want to approve with the addition, recommendations and the statutory chart is review provisions from last year's annual report, that's clear enough for us to get an updated draft.
Okay. Everybody okay with that? So do we need to vote on the end
Amended?
product?
On the amended
Yeah,
version, can we do that without seeing it? I'm fine doing that.
Fine too.
Since it's the exact same language.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
continuity.
then I will entertain a motion to accept the GAC annual report with those conditions.
I'll move.
We have a motion to move that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the final agenda item for the day. So unless someone has something else, I will further entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Senator Perchlik has a motion. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.